It was really 1970 that I started to go regularly, and oh, that's right. That's the band I wanted to talk about as well. Was Quintessence. Um, just couldn't believe one how good they were, and the kind of show that they put on. And what impressed me so much about them as well was not just the music, which was a kind of a cross between sort of Eastern influence vibes and West Coast American. A lot of the guitar solos, American West Coast, Jefferson Airplane, Grateful Dead, a really nice mixture. But it was the way that they decked out the stage in carpets and rugs and all the joss sticks going. And I can remember me and my friend Steve Cave being opposite the stage on chairs at the back next to the light show, Medicine Lights, yeah, watching them, what they were doing with the liquid wheel and projecting onto the screen behind the stage as the band was playing. And I can remember them playing Gunga Mai in particular. And what I just thought was funny at the time, it was a great memory really, was they started playing. It's a very trippy song with all the flute going and everything. And there was just this big circle to the right hand side. There's just this big circle of hippies just skipping round to the song, and it was just a happy, great evening. And you come out of there high, literally high. Marvellous memories. The other band that particularly liked going to see at the Village was Skid Row. And again, you don't appreciate these things particularly at the time, but the guitarist with Skid Row was Gary Moore. And he was, what, 17 at the time? Just a trio, blues trio really, maybe a little bit more progressive, but on the Cream template. And really used to enjoy them. And Gary Moore used to wear a trench coat, like a bobble wool hat, I think, Gibson Les Paul. And at one point during the set, the other two would go off to have a drink and a smoke or whatever, and he'd sit at the side of the stage, you know, a little bass drum, a little hi-hat or whatever it was, and he'd sit and do the old one-man band, and he'd do 2 or 3 blues numbers. And I used to think that was fabulous. In those days, not only was the Village Blues Club, King's Head, Elm Park Hotel, you had the one out in Epping. There was the Red Line, Leytonstone. There's a couple of gigs in Ilford as well, I think. And then latterly you had the Sundown, the East Ham. And of course, being at the end district line, it was easy to go into London as well. And the Marquee, the Lyceum, etc. Spoilt really. Looking back, spoilt. But at the time, you just took it for granted, and they were all there. And I think the other thing as well is it's hard to imagine that even the local pubs, locally, there'd be bands on. There wasn't discos. It was always live bands. So in the Bowl, Cross Keys, whatever, you'd get live bands. And even when I was younger, going to Saturday morning pictures, you know, you'd actually have sort of talent competitions, and you'd have bands playing there. And so I see people like Tony Rivers and the Castaways and the Senators, people like that at the Heathway Odeon. So yeah, in many ways it's a shame that those venues don't exist anymore, and that there isn't as much live music as there used to be. Even though I'd like to think I was reasonably clued up, you know, Melody Maker and things like that. There were some bands that I didn't go and see, so I didn't know where they were. You know, maybe I should have gone and checked them out. But the main one, I think, was Derek and the Dominoes, Mr. Clapton. And that takes some getting your head around, really, doesn't it? Derek and the Dominoes, Eric Clapton, playing in Dagenham. So anyway, yeah, go and see that. So this is summer's evening, there I am round the side of the house, playing tennis, knocking his tennis ball up against the wall. And I'm thinking to myself, I was going to be doing something. Am I going somewhere tonight? And then the penny dropped. Tennis ball falls to the floor. Yeah, Derek and the Dominoes. But there you go. Well, I've seen him about a dozen times since, so, you know, all's well that ends well.